Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming on tonight for Try It Tuesday. And tonight we're talking about supporting Black-owned businesses. So we've got Chris and Akua here with us, and they're going to lead the meeting tonight. So that's going to be awesome. So this is obviously the third official day in our anti-racist action week. And so I know that some, if not all of y'all, have been participating so far, and that's been awesome. And tonight, I guess we're specifically talking about putting our money where our mouth is. So not just being people that run our mouths about being anti-racist, but actually doing something about it. And I'm really excited to learn more about that tonight. And yeah, so you're not here to listen to me talk. So we're gonna say a few quick things. I'm just gonna ask everybody to keep their mics muted for the meeting, unless you are the one talking. And if you have a question, if you want to put that in the chat, and so that we can answer the questions that way, and just make sure everybody's able to hear Chris and Akua the whole time. And on that note, that's it for me. I'll just turn it over to Chris and Akua. So y'all have the floor.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
What's going on, everybody?
So yeah, we're gonna dive into it. I don't know, and I guess it's divine order because today is also Blackout Tuesday. I don't know if y'all been seeing, like, a lot of people been changing their profile pictures to like just black. And so the purpose of that kind of just to like black out everything and to support black. Like the only content that a lot of people are posting is just related to like supporting black-owned businesses. And my whole goal is like I want to see like what can we do like long term. So I feel like the end result to make sure like we keep this up is to kind of like adopt a black-owned business. You know, like if you can. Like, cause yeah, we can make sure we support a black-owned business, but what does that look like, especially now with the whole like COVID-19? You know, cause we have like a lot of black-owned businesses like Nana Soul Food, seafood in Charleston. She had to close down. It was another one, Barbadian restaurant. They had to close down. So like, you know, what can y'all do? You know, what resources, you know, do you have to like, so we can make sure that our businesses, you know, stay open? Because usually when it's time of a crisis, black businesses are the first ones that have to close their doors, you know, because we don't have access to certain things, you know?
And so you also have like a great deal of new businesses that have probably been operating off of regular income from working, right?
Back.
And so they're either one, a good business, great idea, whatnot, but can't get off the ground. And I really think that startup capital is really a big issue, because I truly and genuinely feel like once folks can get started and they see that there's a support system, then the rest is pretty much a snowball. I mean,
Right.
you know, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, because we already believe in ourselves, but to see that, you know, people outside of ourselves believe in us and support us, I mean, how could you fail? You know what I'm saying? And failure is, you know, we already know what failure really is. It's just opportunities for us to
Right.
learn.
Right, like an opportunity, you know, 'cause that's why like a lot of these businesses are shutting their doors because they don't, you know, they either don't have access to those opportunities to stay open, you know, because it's not like we don't have access to it. But like piggybacking off of like what Chris is saying, like the startup businesses also, you know, we need help because like a lot of people have been laid off, and who were the first people to go with this whole corona? You know, they laying off like a lot of black people. So a lot of people are turning towards, well, you know, like just creating their own businesses. But even within that, you know, we lack the opportunity to really, you know, start up to create a foundation. So we have that cushion, you know, because a lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and even black business owners, you know, they still living paycheck to paycheck as well. So like moving into like adopt a black business space, and like what does that look like? You know, you can adopt a black business. It can be just as simple as even like paying their rent. Like a lot of black businesses I've been talking to, they don't know how they're going to cover the rent because they haven't had, you know, you couldn't do dining services, you know, because of the whole corona. So a lot of them, they can't pay their rent. And even with the new businesses, like paying for business licenses, and even just having access to like to the resources that's available, because, you know, like I said, a lot of people are good, you know, the people who are not black, but the black people, we not good because we don't even know like where to turn to. Like, hey, I don't know how I'm gonna keep, you know, keep my restaurant open, you know, or how to keep, you know, my office open, you know, but I know there's resources out there to keep those things open, you know.
And
So
also education being a big thing too. So I know you might know a friend or two that might be extremely savvy in business.
Right.
Hold some cohorts and whatnot that people can attend, and you know have that opportunity to start and be good at it.
Right.
'Cause, like
Or even
let me tell you what the funny part was. I'm gonna tell you what was so funny. It wasn't funny, but it was sad at the same time. I was talking about a business checking account with someone, and they didn't know what that was. I had no idea what a business checking account was at all. And so that just shows the lack of knowledge. When it comes to the business world, people who have the desire to run a business, but generally always come out as the owner operator and burnt out and then give up.
right.
We don't understand that automation is important when you running a business or when you growing a business. And so what they do is become an owner operator, and then you're still in the same position that you started when you thought you was going to be able to quit your job and start a business and be your own boss. And now you're literally your own boss, burnt out.
Right. And even if you have like that knowledge, also, like y'all can use y'all white privilege to even like help us apply for these loans, because that's another way how they discriminate, like against black businesses, because like I've been seeing like throughout history, a black person go to get a business loan, they deny it for whatever reason,
With a
but a white
775
person can
credit
come in
score.
there and they don't have any issues. They did the same thing with black farmers. They tried to get loans, because a lot of black farmers are struggling. They tried to get loans, and what happened? They came with all these stipulations, but for white farmers, they didn't have those obstacles in their way. So just even by utilizing that privilege, because it can be as simple as like, hey, well, I know such and such, I can get you in the door, but they can only do but so much if the person they're working for still has racist ideologies. So it's sometimes they're even just looking like, y'all having to be that face to access that capital for us.
True.
If that makes
Well,
sense. I hope that makes sense. I don't. Y'all have any questions for us?
I think that makes total sense. And one thing that I think both of you have kind of touched on so far that I think would be cool to talk about a little more, when we talk about giving our resources as a church, we always like to talk about opportunities to give resources that are not financial, because obviously those financial resources, that startup capital, and then the obvious thing you can do by like shopping and eating with black-owned businesses, right? There's that piece. But you've both kind of touched on the other piece of skill set, and something that I'm always, I'm a young guy. I'm 26. I don't have a ton of cash. I wish I could, like be throwing out cash. I do
Yeah.
have skills, that like, I work in marketing, and so I wonder what are the things that we can do. How can we organize to provide those skills to black-owned businesses specifically, to make sure that we're doing them in a way that benefits black-owned businesses, and also not overstepping as white people
Right.
when we do that as well. I'm really curious about that.
I would say do like how they do at Jermaine's farm. Ask to volunteer. What can I do? What can I do? What is your business, and what can I do to help aid you in your business? Because
Right.
check this out. I might get on the phone and talk to a homeowner, or talk to a landlord or something, and they don't have interest in speaking to me because they already know over the phone who I am. So, even just as simple as making phone calls with that wonderful, beautiful, angelic white voice.
Yeah, because like linguistic profiling is real, like that's another thing. The people you can, like for the most part, if you're talking to like a white person or black person over the phone, you can tell, and even by the name, like they can see the name and like, that's a little too ethnic, let me put this to the side. So even that would be helpful. And also like how you touched on like skill set, like even just sharing that, like even if it looks like a private training or just like a training, that's affordable to black businesses, because a lot of times I feel like they make it so expensive because they know like a lot of black people cannot afford to go to like $1,000 training that's only 30 minutes.
That is kind of tough. So yeah, I would say volunteering your time and knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Excuse me.
'Cause I think
And
that
just
would be
saying
a
like
better
how
method.
can I help you? Like I like what I love about Two Rivers Church is like y'all always say like how can I support? Even that, because it's better to hear from out our own mouth, like well, this is how you can support. So just even as simple as just asking, well, how can I support? Where do you need help at?
Yep. And so some of the stuff I've been working on, trying to get with. So say we got landlords who evicted somebody, and eviction is a traumatizing process, right? And I try to come in and provide a solution by letting them know that I can use their property or their unit to sublease to other tenants on a short-term basis, right? And you guarantee your rent, even with possibly a 3% commission on the end of each month, right? It's still not appealing because you hear whose voice is coming from. I do have a slight accent, and people say, "Where you from?" And it takes the attention off of what I'm trying to do, which is actually, assist in a problem that you might be having, right? While still remaining profitable, and the person on the other side remaining profitable at the same time. So, boy, listen, that good voice, Stanton, boy, you got a nice voice, boy. Huh? Now. I'm just messing with you,
The other thing that I always think about that I think would be cool for us to talk about tonight is how do we identify Black-owned businesses in our local community, and how are we intentional about seeking out Black-owned businesses to support specifically? Because the reality is it can be really hard to spend your money where your mouth is when you really start taking track of it. The example I always think of is Chick-fil-A. People are always talking about don't eat at Chick-fil-A, don't eat at Chick-fil-A, and the reality is there are a lot of places like Chick-fil-A you shouldn't be eating. It's not just Chick-fil-A there's the choice to shop at small businesses, right? That's a choice a lot of people take. But going that step further and shopping, being a values-oriented spender can be really difficult. So I want to talk a little bit about that too.
So that was a good thing that you mentioned, because that's the thing I struggle with to try to and I'm in marketing too, so you actually should link up, see how we can help each other. Is that a lot of Black-owned businesses, they don't understand, excuse me, they don't understand the need for marketing, or they just oh, that technology mess, I don't want to deal with it, because a lot of them are older. And that's why it's hard to how you say identify where all these Black businesses at. Because even touching back on Jermaine Farm, when I go there and I tell people, hey, you a farm on the making, they'd be like, what farm? I'm like, how long has she been right there? It's in the middle of the hood. But they don't know that that's a Black-owned business,
Right.
So even as far as us surveying to collect that data, and that's going to take resources, people on the ground surveying to see out, okay, where are the Black-owned businesses, and coming up with some directory or just something. So people, it's a list where people can see these are the Black-owned businesses that's in the Low Country, but that's really, it's going to take footwork, and that's really just coming out here hitting the ground to see, because some of them are not even online. So it's because even the Candy Lady, that's an essential Black-owned business, because there was plenty of days where all me and my siblings, we had it's $1, so we go to Candy Lady, get us a little chili bit, bag of chips, it was essential. But if you're not in that neighborhood, you're not going to know, okay, there's a Candy Lady right here who probably can need some support, so yeah, I don't know. Chris, you want to add to that?
Yeah, honestly, I was thinking, say you got a Black-owned business that you are aware of, and we was talking about Jermaine. How, remember, we was talking about how people in the neighborhood don't know that Jermaine is right in the middle of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Do some door knocking, some good old traditional door knocking. That's feet to the ground work. Knocking on the door, bring a flyer. You don't have to stay long. It doesn't have to be a whole spiel. Just, hey, support a Black-owned business. Boom, bye.
Right.
And just that alone is a powerful push of word of mouth.
Right. Or even I'm connecting with how they have the low tourist thing downtown, and it lists all the businesses, but Black-owned businesses not in there. Even getting access to that, so we can have a list of all the businesses, not even just downtown, everywhere. All these companies that got flyers and billboards up, but again, we don't have access to that either, because we don't have the funds, or just so many obstacles in our way. Just even doing that, so people can see hey, these are the Black-owned businesses.
A billboard ad for a week is the cost of rent.
Yeah, it's insane. The cost of the cost of marketing is, as soon as we started talking about that, I was like, that makes total sense. We talk about equity and access. Those are critical tools to be competitive in the market, and they're not affordable.
It's not. It's not, but with social media, I feel like that's the best kind of marketing. Because that's how I find out a lot of stuff, and most people are online. So even like utilizing that. So I feel like the first step maybe just surveying, like really finding out where all these Black owned businesses at, and then using what we can and what we have to like put that out there. So we can get to where we can have like we can like say I part of adopting Black business, like, hey, I have this some funds, let me put your business on a billboard for like a month. um
Let's create a new green book.
Yes, a new green book.
Green
right.
book.
Yes.
With businesses in Charleston, Black-owned businesses
Yes.
in Charleston, and we can distribute that to people so that they can use that to reference as their business directory to find Black-owned businesses to support.
That's a great idea. And right, like a modern, yes, Kanani, like a modern green book, and then we can even have that online, and we can have physical copies. I think that'll be great.
I think
That'd
you're
be great.
spot on. I think you're spot on about that. And the other thing that is that I'm thinking about, back to our conversation about providing our skill sets and making sure that Black-owned businesses have access to the tools that they need to be successful, as well as what can we do to create a unified, how can we take a step further from doing it as individuals to having an organized effort to make sure that there's a hub of resources for Black-owned businesses to be able to access the resources they need, for marketing experts, for business experts to all come together with for the common good to support these businesses as well.
Right. When you said that, I just keep going back to, because I don't know if y'all ever go in there. It's like the visitor center. That's what it's called, and it has like all the businesses. Of course, it's the ones they want to promote, but it's all of that. So I don't know. We can like duplicate that, but just make it for like specifically for Black businesses. Because that is like it's a bunch of like flyers, pamphlets. They even got even some of their products in there. And that's like really like the hub. Like, as a visitor, here you can go here. You can go there. You want to know where to eat at. You want to know where to stay at, where to sleep at. You want to know what clothes to buy. They have everything in there. So that's what I immediately thought of. Maybe that. But also we have to find something that we can put online, especially being that with this whole, Corona. There's no telling, when we can really like, go out.
Right.
I was thinking too, like getting with these businesses if they have a social media platform, and ask if they would be interested in you creating an ad for them. Because we got to face it, our phone. Let's go ahead and get guilty real quick. Our phones is like a billboard, right? Because a lot of people look at it even when they're driving. All right. So if you can create an ad, as simple as one little ad, and have it up for a week or two, that would make an impact too. People can
Yeah.
then your business is getting in front of people.
And another thing, and maybe that can be like a whole website, like adoptablackbusiness.com, and where it's like it has a whole list of like, and it can break down from city, like, but it's all Black-owned businesses, like, hey, this is such and such, and you can choose which one you want to adopt. And you can either adopt like by putting your money in there, or even by using your skill set, so maybe it might even look like that. But all the ideas so far, I feel like will be good. It's better than what we got right now.
Yeah.
Who else has anybody else have anything they want to weigh in here?
Our accountant is a Black-owned business, and I don't remember the name of his company, but it's Harold Singletary, and he also owns a hemp farm, I think in Goose Creek or Monk's Corner. I get the two confused.
Yep.
But I need to reach out to him. He might be a good resource for knowing the Black-owned businesses in Charleston area.
Oh, he's the real deal. He actually his hemp farm is on the same property that was owned by his great grandparents.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like where they used to work on a plantation. Harold's an amazing guy.
That's actually pretty interesting to check out right there.
For real.
That's not a common thing.
It's
No.
not. I didn't even know we had black-owned hemp farms in Charleston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
he's
cool.
he's pretty.
I can get you
yeah.
in touch with him, or we can get you in touch with him.
Sounds good.
Akua and Chris, something else that I'm thinking about is we were talking about marketing, right? And we're talking about influencing as well. And you two are influencer. I would classify you as influencers with your Nietzsche experience work, right? And the work that you do there to bring awareness to both culturally, but also to businesses, to work in the community. And I think people underestimate a lot. We're talking about how people underestimate the value of social media and marketing as a whole, but people really underestimate the value of influencer marketing. And
Right.
Chris was even talking about, door to door, knocking on doors, that word of mouth advertising as well, which we know is the most successful form, hands down, of advertising. You can spend all the money in the world, and if people don't speak about your business and let other people know that they like it, there's not a lot of value. And so I'm also thinking here, another key thing to supporting Black-owned businesses, besides spending our money there, besides giving our resources, also to let people know what Black-owned businesses, about Black-owned businesses. So, something else that when we think about our specific context as a church and what our moral ethical responsibility is as well to support Black-owned businesses as a not-for-profit organization, that's something that I think of a lot too. Is not only about organizations how they spend their money for the resources that we need, but also how organizations as a whole support Black-owned businesses. And of course, part of what we do as an organization is we have committed to giving a % of our offering back into the community, with Fresh Future Farm obviously is one of our key solidarity partners that we put money back into the community with, along with AFA and Charleston Pride, as they have also been key partners for us as well. But when I dream of a long-term vision for what the work of the church should be, is a deeply ingrained community partner. Not necessarily sitting at the top of the food chain in a community, like I feel churches often do, but instead sitting at the foundation of the community and putting resources back into organizations as well. And I wonder what our long-term vision as an organization looks like, in being an organization that feeds resources back into the community and back into Black-owned businesses as well. I wonder what everyone else thinks about that.
I keep going back to maybe that adopt a Black business until they're able to, they're at a point to where, like, okay, hey, like, you have helped me, you have guided me, I feel like I'm good. So maybe just taking on like adopt a Black-owned business, let them list out like, this is what I need to be successful. I need A, B, C, and D, and then once you're finished with that, we'll move on to the next Black-owned business that needs help. But that's just the first thing that comes to mind. I'm sure there's plenty of other ways that we can think of and come up with.
Adopt a Black business would leave the choice up to the whoever it is that wants to be a part of it. Say, hey, I want to do this one. Oh, I like this one. I believe in this one. Oh, this will be good. Like leaving that choice right there.
Right. And then like having that directory, like let's say somebody who's having a wedding, like, okay, well, hey, I know this Black-owned business, that do they plan weddings, I know somebody that can take pictures, I know somebody who can supply the food, just as simple as that. Like, when you know somebody that's doing something, instead of like using your like white friends or white businesses, speak out and say, hey, I know a Black business that can use that support and even that opportunity.
Right. I know that Black business that needs that support, that opportunity. That's almost like brokering a deal. I know somebody that needs something, and I can connect you to them.
There's certainly a level of just being intentional and operating with a mindset and a commitment to this as well, where there's the easy thing to do to just shop with who go with what or to really push yourself to make sure that you again are being that values oriented spender shopping with businesses that need the support with Black-owned businesses as well, which is really just like a commitment frame of mind thing that we have to do as well.
I just found something while we were talking, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with it, but it's the Black Pages in South Carolina. There's actually a publication. I didn't even know that there was such a thing, and I just pasted it in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that. I was wondering if we could, leverage the things that they do with Black Pages or with the South Carolina Black Expo, and kind of leverage what they've already built and either augment that or build, either support what their efforts are or, kind of tap into what they're already doing and augment that.
Yeah, at least connect and see what they got going on and what they're interested in, what their future plans are.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend whose sister works for the BBE. I've got a couple friends I could probably connect you guys to that either work in communications or pretty much have a good idea of how to help with marketing and stuff too. If you'd like to speak with them.
Yeah.
Any connection to anybody is good. Relationships, that's the whole point, That's what a real growth and wealth comes from is just your connections that you have. I mean, being honest.
Yeah, because until we can really like tear down this system of racism and white supremacy, like that's really, we're going to have to rely on, our white people in the movement, that can kind of be that bridge in between.
Yeah. Can you guys put your email address in the chat or an email address that I can reach y'all to, and then I'll just send a group email with them and you.
Yeah,
Yep.
I put it in the chat just now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Y'all got any comments for us? Anybody watching, they don't have any comments? No questions?
Excuse me, I just had to sneeze just now. Don't trip.
Bless you.
Oh man. So that's it. Everybody, nobody have any questions? I mean, like I said, I think if somebody got a question, yeah.
Yeah, I got a question. Go, Louise.
Okay. Do you have businesses outside Geechee Experience that we can support?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a great question because we do.
What are they?
So my business is called Akua Outreach Marketing. So I'm tapping into like social media marketing, help in management with social media. Chris?
Yeah. Oh, and I'm Property Investor Solutions. And like I talked about earlier, I want to provide solutions to distressed owners of property to help make profit for both of us. Okay, so pretty much what I'm going to be doing is using short-term rental platforms as well as a personal website that people can come book short-term stays with us up to about a month. We can even do corporate stays, but add a cultural touch to each property to kind of remind people that this is a Black-owned business, not one of those where the whole thing is filled up with cultural items. It's just a splash here and there, just to kind of remind you and to help bring about an appreciation of culture using short-term rentals. And being that we are in Charleston, South Carolina, this is a perfect area, the perfect spot in the United States of America to dive into tourism and any type of tourism, rentals, okay, tours, anything. And so maybe I can provide meaningful stays and multiple different properties. You get what I'm saying? So, and this is something that does require a good bit of startup, and that's the challenge that I'm facing right now. I've been working with some people trying to get that squared away. But that's pretty much where I'm headed, is making a
And I just
profit.
want to touch on that, like how like Chris mentioned tourism, because y'all know Charleston's like the #1 tourist attraction for a while, and like when people coming out here because they want to learn about the Gulag Getchi is what they call us. You know, they want to learn about like Gullah Geechee culture. You know, but we don't profit off of that. We probably get like not even like a penny out of all of that. You know, because like these plantations cost about $40 a head. You know, they're not donating to any Black people really. You know, the churn can't even go downtown to sell their flowers without a license. You know, another way the tactic they use to, discriminate against us, so we can't make it hard for us to make money. You know, so it's also like, how do we like tap into that tourism money? Because like to me, that's like a slap in our face. You know, like people are coming out here. Charleston, is like again profiting off of the back of of Black people. You know, but it's like because we don't have access, or we don't know because we're miseducated on like how do we create something so where we can tap into those tourism dollars.
Right, as real benefactors, right? So we get to work the jobs, right? We get to clean the hotels, we get to cook the food, and we get to be a part of the history, but we don't really get the benefit from that in its truest sense. So
yeah, even the people making the baskets downtown, they got their people picked. So it's like even that, like.
So even in these short-term rental stays, you'll have an opportunity to shop Black by having Sabri's Gullah Art Gallery, some of her artwork in there and contact information. Somebody might stop and look at the paint and say, wow, where did they get this from? Information right here. Black-owned restaurants. Where do I go to get something to eat when I come and stay? Now we got a list of Black-owned restaurants that are, that people can go check out.
So maybe long term, it looks like that hub, like how they have that hub, that visitor center. Like maybe it's like a property. People can go in either like you can go in to stay, or like you can go in and get an experience, and it also has like a whole bunch of different stuff where okay, you can find Black-owned businesses because they have their like marketing information in there.
Yep. So that'd be a way to kind of promote and and still be profitable, actually live. Not try to figure out what's next every single day.
That is a really cool business idea. I love that. I just think that's awesome.
There's going to be a lot of people, I believe, that are going to want to give to organizations and Black-owned businesses that are thinking this way.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why we're here. There's going to be an interest of it. There are people who are tired of seeing what's going on, and so the question is, how do you get a platform and how do you put it together? But like Stanton was saying, it sounds like you're putting together, Chris and Akua, like a menu. Here's a menu of offerings for how to make the tourism experience in Charleston with the authentic local options.
Yep.
Right.
That's the whole point. And so when you come to the state, you'll remember that, man, this culture is pretty interesting. You may have never heard of it.
Right. You're getting a real user experience, honestly.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Yeah, and then if you basically make it so that people, the best referral is a happy customer. So you incentivize those people. Hey, look, you bring someone back next time you come. 20% off.
20% off. Or even, hey, bring you a pan of red rice. You want some red rice? You ever had red rice? What's that? Bring you a pan of red rice. That way you don't have to go out to eat the first night or whatever. So making a real hospitable experience. So not only will they be getting the white downtown side of Charleston, but they'll be able to get, the brown side too.
I think downtown, that's like a fake version of Gullah Geechee culture. I be telling people that's a tourist trap. You don't really get to like experience like the real essence of Gullah Geechee culture. And then honestly, on the tour guide, they be telling people, don't go to the islands, don't go to North Charleston. But that's where the real Gullah Geechee people are at, because they didn't kick us off of downtown.
Right.
So we're going to start the Facebook, the Green Book Charleston Facebook page, and Akua is going to use her social media expertise to develop that, and then Chris will be one of the advertisers on the site.
What is that noise, yo?
I thought that was just me.
My phone.
So, sorry.
Oh, hey, Charlene.
Charlene here. I was just wanting to add, because I came in a little bit late, but we were talking a bit about marketing. And so Jamie and I run a video marketing business. And so it would be really, like, video is going to reach a lot of people. So it would be really great to, like, just connect with the right people, the right businesses, so that we can help reach more people online, because, you know, video, people will always stop and watch something as they're scrolling. And so that's what we do. So I just wanted to mention that, because, you know, we're always trying to network and, like, see what we can do and see how we can help and grow our business as well as other people's businesses. So what we like to do is emphasize on storytelling. And I think that's huge in a lot of ways, not just to market, but, like, to help people understand who is there, who owns the business, who runs the business, and how they got there, depending on what story you want for your brand as the business, right? And so for us, it's called, our business is called Story Society Creative. So, like, telling story, especially, like, for a business, but also, like, an individual, like, it really helps with what's going on, like understanding hatred or understanding marginalization, you know, and somebody's story and how they have navigated through. Video can really help with that. So I just want to, like, say, like, hey, think about us. We can always help with that kind of technology and stuff too.
Love that.
One of the things I well, first let me ask you, does anybody have any other questions? I was gonna maybe, oh, go ahead, Catherine. Oh, do I need to unmute you? Here we go. Oop.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't really understand Zoom. I happened to be noodling around on Facebook a few days ago, and I saw whatever it is. I don't know if they're called ads, but it said Two Rivers Church and Sunday, you know, tune in. And I stumbled around technologically and I got in there. So I was there Sunday and I saw the weeks of activity. So I got back here today just by grace and by golly. But I live out on Edisto, which is 45 miles from town. And I would use any kind of resource that could tell me where I could find Black-owned businesses. Somehow I found Fresh Future Farm. And so almost anybody I speak to, they'd never heard of it. Out here and even in town, and white and black. So I don't know, I just found stuff just by guess and by golly. And the only thing I'd ever heard of for Gullah Geechee history and tours is Alfonso Brown. I don't know if he's still doing it. Doing those tours. So I'm just coming in by the skin of my teeth technologically. I would love to have something I could read, or I see on Facebook there are groups like where you buy and sell and barter. Maybe the Black-owned businesses could be on that. I don't even know the words for it. Okay, I'm done.
Well, that's actually a great segue into what I was going to say next, Catherine, which is, so we do have a resource that Wendy, along with some other community leaders, have worked to develop, and we're in the process of still developing it further. But it's linked on our website. We put up a anti-racism resource page earlier this week. So that's at tworiverschs.org/anti-racism. And if you go to that page right now, it has a list of the events that are happening this week. And on Thursday of this week is actually a day that we've designated as a day that we want to commit to actively supporting Black-owned businesses. Obviously, that's something that we want to be committing to every day, but we're putting it on Thursday this week. So we do have a list of, and it's a list that includes Black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, and LGBTQ plus owned businesses in Charleston. So all 3 of them are on that list. And we're working on building that out and making it a little more robust and functional, but it is a good place to start as far as what we have currently on the website. I know Chris, also, you might want to talk about this. There's a Facebook group that Chris, I think that's one that you started, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you, man, don't laugh at me either. I originally started that group to gather information about, because I was trying to make a poll, but it said I had to start a group.
Okay.
And I called it Black Businesses. And I wanted to make a poll to see if people would be more open to pay a higher premium for a cultural centric short-term stay, as opposed to a traditional, modernized short-term stay. And it ended up turning into people sharing their businesses and business ideas, connecting with each other, shopping with each other, and it just went from there.
Well,
so
it's really cool.
Hey, Kanani and Akua, like they help out tremendously with that. So I mean, it's a lot of people in there, like, fast.
So so that's another resource that's available, to learn about Black-owned businesses as well. And I think we've very clearly identified here tonight several really great ideas about things that we can do. I mean, the most important thing for us to do as a church is to make sure that we're leveraging the resources that are available to us for positive and impactful community change. Things that actually benefit our community and don't just benefit ourselves. And I think we've got some really awesome ideas tonight that we can actually build upon. So I'm excited about that. I think this was an awesome conversation. Chris and Akua, thanks for taking the lead on that. I'm sorry that I'm not a natural moderator. I do my best. A lot of times I'm just kind of like, I'm no Wendy. But we're glad Wendy got to have a night off as well. And I wanted to talk a little bit before we log off here tonight about what we've got going on. What we've got going on the rest of the week. So tomorrow night from 8 to 9:30, we've got the first night of our new book club. And that's going to be for this book, I'm Still Here, Black Dignity in a World Made for Whiteness. This book, we've got Kenya Cummings and Julie Keys are going to be leading this book study. And it's a short-term commitment. I believe it's 3 sessions. And Kenya even made a point to say on Sunday that you do not have to read the book to participate. So I'm going to be there. I'm really excited about that. And Kenya is just, I think, one of the smartest people I've ever heard talk. I love listening to her talk. So I'm really excited about that, to be honest. We've got on Thursday, like I was saying earlier, our day that we've committed to really putting our money where our mouth is and supporting Black-owned businesses in Charleston. So check out that list on our website and pick some businesses to spend some money at on Thursday. And then on Friday, we've committed to Black Food Friday, which is a similar initiative, but specifically about ordering your takeout or your dinner on Friday night from a Black-owned restaurant. So that list that is up there for Black-owned businesses has Black-owned restaurants on it as well. So I hope everyone will be able to take part in that on Friday. And then one last thing I want to say is that Try It Tuesday, what we're doing tonight, is a weekly thing that we've got going on. And next week, Jay and Lydia, who are on the call, are going to be running Try It Tuesday. They're doing leading a conversation on jumpstarting your budget. So that's something I am very much looking forward to attending. Jay and Lydia are going to help me get rich quick next week. So please tune in if you'd like to get rich quick. And make sure you check out that Facebook event. Click that you're interested and you'll get a reminder about that as well. So yeah, that's what we've got for tonight. I just think it's really awesome that I like to say we're a 7-day-a-week church, and I think we really live into that really well. We've got some awesome people in our community with I just think the expertise that we have is amazing. And the way that we are able to hear from people like Chris and Akua, like next week with Lydia and Jay, just be able to learn from each other and to be engaged with each other throughout the week is a real gift, and I'm grateful for it. So thank you, Chris and Akua, for leading this tonight. And to everyone else, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I hope I will see you tomorrow night at the book study. And that's it.
Thank y'all for having us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.